In the heart of a dense forest, where shadows dance with whispers of forgotten souls, lies an old, abandoned mansion. Its windows are shattered eyes, its walls draped in ivy like the gnarled fingers of a witch. Legend has it that a family once dwelt within, their happiness poisoned by a terrible secret. On a moonless night, 3 daring friends ventured into the mansion, seeking thrills beneath the silvery glow of a lone lantern. The air was heavy with a chilling silence, broken only by the creaking floorboards beneath their cautious steps. As they explored the decrepit rooms, each corner whispered of unseen watchers and things better left undisturbed. Yet curiosity fueled their journey deeper into the labyrinth of rooms, where portraits of long-dead ancestors stared with accusing eyes. In the dim light, they stumbled upon a locked door, rusted with age and secrecy. With trembling hands, they forced it open, unleashing a putrid stench that clawed at their throats. Inside, they found a hidden chamber, its walls adorned with crude symbols and cryptic runes. At the room's center lay a dusty tome bound in human skin, pages etched with arcane symbols and forbidden incantations. Ignoring warnings etched in dust, one friend dared to read aloud the cursed words, unleashing a malevolent spirit imprisoned within. Suddenly, the mansion groaned and shuddered as if awakened from a slumber of centuries. Shadows writhed and converged, coalescing into a spectral figure that loomed before them. Its eyes burned with a hunger born of endless torment, its form a twisted mockery of life. The friends recoiled in terror, their lantern flickering in the face of the specter's wrath. Desperate, they raced through winding corridors, pursued by echoes of anguished wails and the phantom's relentless pursuit. Just as hope began to fade, they stumbled upon the mansion's entrance, its door a beacon of freedom in the suffocating darkness. With trembling hands, they burst into the night, the chill of their ordeal clinging to their very souls. To this day, the mansion stands as a warning to those who dare seek the forbidden and disturb the restless dead. Its corridors whisper of the friends who dared to unlock its secrets, forever haunted by the spectral guardian unleashed from the depths of forgotten nightmares. Months passed, but the 3 friends could not escape the haunting memories of that fateful night in the mansion. Each bore the weight of their terror differently. Tom, the one who had read aloud from the cursed tome, found himself plagued by visions of the malevolent spirit. Its eyes, burning with hatred and hunger, seemed to follow him everywhere, even in the safety of daylight. Sleep became a distant memory as nightmares of the mansion's shadows enveloped him each night. Sarah, the most skeptical of the trio, struggled to reconcile what she had witnessed with her rational mind. She sought solace in research, scouring libraries and obscure texts for any clue that might explain or banish the entity they had unwittingly unleashed. But the more she learned, the more she realized the depth of their mistake. And Alex, the one who had dared to force open the locked door, withdrew into a silence that seemed to swallow him whole. His once vibrant laughter turned hollow, haunted by the memory of the spectral figure that pursued them through the mansion's labyrinthine halls. Despite their efforts to move on with their lives, the mansion's presence loomed over them like a shadow, casting doubt and fear into their hearts. They avoided discussing that night, afraid that even the slightest mention might summon the ghostly apparition back into their lives. Then, one stormy night, Tom received a letter in a familiar, old-fashioned script. It bore no return address, only a cryptic message that sent chills down his spine. The mansion calls for its debt. Terrified yet compelled to confront the lingering horror, Tom reached out to Sarah and Alex. Reluctantly, they agreed to return to the mansion, believing they might find closure by confronting whatever awaited them within its cursed walls. The forest seemed denser than before as they approached, the mansion looming like a malevolent sentinel against the stormy sky. Lightning danced across the horizon, illuminating the shattered windows like accusing eyes. Inside, the air was thick with a foreboding silence, broken only by the sound of their hesitant footsteps echoing down the corridors. They retraced their path through the mansion's dark heart, guided by memories both vivid and nightmarish. They found the hidden chamber where the cursed tome had rested, its pages still open as if waiting for their return. The air grew colder, charged with an otherworldly presence that seemed to throb with anticipation. As they stood in the center of the chamber, a flicker of movement caught their attention, a shadowy figure materializing before them. Its eyes burned with a hunger that had only grown in their absence, its form shifting and twisting like smoke. But this time, instead of fear, a determination gripped them. With voices trembling yet resolute, they spoke words of regret and remorse, pleading for forgiveness and offering restitution for their trespass. Slowly, the spectral figure began to fade, its ethereal form dissipating like mist in the wind. The mansion groaned as if releasing a long-held breath, its oppressive atmosphere lifting with the departing spirit. Outside, the storm began to break, sunlight piercing through the heavy clouds. The friends stood together, their hearts heavy with relief and a newfound understanding of the consequences of their curiosity. As they left the mansion behind, a sense of closure washed over them. They knew they could never erase the horrors they had faced, but they had learned a profound lesson about the dangers of meddling with forces beyond their understanding. And so, the mansion faded into the misty forest, its secrets buried once more in the depths of forgotten nightmares, a cautionary tale whispered among those who dare to tread where shadows dwell. Years passed since their harrowing encounter at the mansion. Tom, Sarah, and Alex had drifted apart, each carrying the weight of that night in their own way. Tom had become an insomniac, haunted by recurring dreams of the spectral figure reaching out to him from the darkness. Sarah had thrown herself into her studies, delving deeper into the occult and supernatural, searching for answers that seemed always just out of reach. Alex had withdrawn further into himself, his once vibrant personality subdued by a lingering sense of guilt and fear. One autumn day, a news article caught Tom's eye. A local historian had uncovered new information about the mansion. Intrigued yet apprehensive, Tom reached out to Sarah and Alex. Despite their reluctance, they agreed to meet, drawn together once more by the ties that bound them to that cursed place. They gathered in a quaint coffee shop on the outskirts of town, the air thick with unspoken memories and the weight of years gone by. Over steaming mugs of coffee, they shared hesitant smiles and awkward small talk, avoiding the inevitable discussion that hovered between them like a specter. Finally, Tom broached the subject, his voice barely above a whisper. He spoke of the article, of the historian's findings that hinted at a deeper, darker history behind the mansion's cursed walls. Sarah listened intently, her eyes narrowing with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Alex remained silent, his gaze fixed on the table as if lost in his own thoughts. With newfound resolve, they decided to return to the mansion once more, not out of recklessness, but out of a shared need for closure. The forest seemed to welcome them back, the familiar path to the mansion winding through trees that whispered secrets of forgotten ages. As they approached the mansion, they noticed changes. The ivy that once choked its walls had withered, the shattered windows boarded up as if to keep the darkness within contained. The air hummed with an eerie stillness, the mansion's presence a silent testament to the passage of time. Inside, the atmosphere was heavy with the weight of years of neglect. Dust motes danced in shafts of sunlight that filtered through gaps in the boards, casting long shadows across the cracked floorboards. They retraced their steps through the mansion's labyrinthine corridors, guided by memory and the echoes of their past. In the hidden chamber where they had confronted the spectral figure, they found remnants of their previous encounter. A tattered page from the cursed tome, its ink faded, but still bearing faint traces of arcane symbols. As they stood together in the chamber, a sense of closure washed over them. They spoke words of apology and regret, not just to the spirit they had unwittingly unleashed, but to each other, for the bonds that had been strained and the years lost in the shadow of their shared trauma. Suddenly, a soft glow filled the chamber, emanating from the tome itself. The air shimmered with a faint energy, a whisper of forgiveness and release. The spectral figure appeared before them once more, its form no longer twisted with rage but bathed in a gentle light. It spoke, its voice a melodic echo of the past, conveying a message of peace and absolution. With each word, the mansion seemed to sigh with relief, its oppressive atmosphere lifting like a veil. As the spirit dissipated into the ether, the mansion groaned once more, as if shedding its haunted past. Outside, the forest greeted them with a newfound serenity, the trees whispering tales of redemption and renewal. Tom, Sarah, and Alex emerged from the mansion hand in hand, their hearts lighter than they had been in years. They knew the scars of that night would never fully fade, but they also knew they had found closure and a renewed sense of purpose. And so, they walked away from the mansion, leaving behind the darkness that had once threatened to consume them. The forest reclaimed its silence, the mansion fading into the misty landscape, a testament to the resilience of those who dare to confront their deepest fears and emerge stronger on the other side. As Tom, Sarah, and Alex walked away from the mansion, a sense of peace settled over them. The weight that had burdened their souls for so long seemed to lift with each step they took through the tranquil forest. Birds chirped in the branches above, their song a gentle melody that soothed their frayed nerves. They found themselves talking freely now, sharing memories of their childhood adventures and the bond that had brought them to explore the mansion that fateful night. Laughter, tinged with relief, punctuated their conversation as they navigated the winding path back to civilization. Their reunion had not only brought closure, but had also reignited a friendship that had weathered the storms of time and trauma. They spoke of their lives since that night, Tom's struggles with insomnia gradually easing as the nightmares faded, Sarah's continued fascination with the supernatural tempered by a newfound respect for its dangers, and Alex's gradual emergence from his self-imposed isolation, finding solace in reconnecting with his friends. Days turned into weeks, and they found themselves meeting regularly, rediscovering the joy of each other's company. They supported one another through the lingering echoes of their shared ordeal, finding strength in their renewed bond. One crisp autumn afternoon, as they sat together in the same coffee shop where they had first gathered after years apart, an elderly woman approached their table. She introduced herself as Emily, a longtime resident of the nearby town. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation," Emily said with a warm smile. "You must be the ones who visited the old mansion up in the woods." Surprised but curious, they nodded cautiously. Emily's eyes twinkled with a mixture of intrigue and wisdom. "I have a story to share with you," she began, her voice a soft cadence that drew them in like a moth to a flame. She spoke of the mansion's origins, tracing its history back to a prosperous family who had once thrived in the area. Their fortune had been built on timber and trade, their influence casting a long shadow over the community. "But with wealth often comes secrets," Emily continued, her gaze distant as if peering into the past. "Legend has it that the family patriarch made a pact with dark forces to ensure their prosperity would endure through the ages. The mansion became a beacon of their hubris and a prison for their darkest deeds." As Emily spoke, Tom, Sarah, and Alex exchanged knowing glances, recognizing echoes of their own experience within the tale. They listened intently as Emily recounted stories of strange occurrences in the surrounding forest, of whispers carried on the wind and shadows that danced at the edge of sight. "But every curse has a key," Emily said softly, her eyes meeting theirs with a quiet intensity. The spirit that haunted the mansion sought only release from its torment, trapped between worlds by the sins of those who came before. She reached into her bag and withdrew a small, weathered journal bound in cracked leather. "I believe this belongs to you," Emily said, handing the journal to Tom. Tom recognized it immediately, the missing pages from the cursed tome they had found in the hidden chamber. He flipped through its yellowed pages, finding notes scrawled in a familiar hand, detailing their journey into the mansion and the events that had unfolded that night. "This journal holds the key to understanding," Emily explained. "It chronicles not only your encounter, but also the path to redemption for those who dared to confront the darkness within." With gratitude in their hearts, Tom, Sarah, and Alex thanked Emily for her wisdom and the gift of closure she had unknowingly bestowed upon them. As she bid them farewell and disappeared into the bustling streets of the town, they knew their journey was far from over. Armed with newfound knowledge and a deeper understanding of the mansion's history, they resolved to share their story with others, a cautionary tale of curiosity, consequence, and the enduring power of friendship and forgiveness. And so, Tom, Sarah, and Alex embarked on a new chapter of their lives, forever bound by the bonds forged in the darkness of that old mansion. Together, they would continue to unravel mysteries, explore the unknown, and cherish the precious gift of second chances that had been bestowed upon them amidst the shadows of their past. Tom, Sarah, and Alex found themselves drawn back to the mansion time and again, not out of fear but out of a shared fascination with its mysteries and a desire to unravel the remaining secrets that lingered within its walls. Armed with the journal and Emily's guidance, they began to piece together the mansion's history. They delved into archives, interviewed locals, and consulted experts in various fields, each discovery bringing them closer to understanding the true nature of the dark forces that had once held sway over the mansion. Through their research, they uncovered tales of lost loves and tragic endings, of ambitions twisted by greed and power. They learned of a family torn apart by their own secrets and the price they had paid for their pact with darkness. As they ventured deeper into the mansion's hidden chambers and forgotten passages, they encountered relics and artifacts that spoke of a bygone era, a time when the boundaries between the mortal realm and the supernatural were thin, and the mansion had served as a nexus for otherworldly energies. But amidst the darkness, they also discovered glimmers of hope, stories of courage and sacrifice, of spirits seeking redemption and peace. They realized that the mansion was not just a place of horror and despair, but also a testament to resilience and the human spirit's capacity for healing. Their journey led them to confront not only the mansion's past, but also their own fears and regrets. They found solace in each other's company, their bonds strengthened by the shared experiences that had forged them into a steadfast trio. One summer evening, as they stood together on the mansion's overgrown lawn bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, they made a solemn vow to preserve the mansion's legacy, to honor the spirits that still lingered within its walls, and to ensure that its dark history would serve as a cautionary tale for future generations. With the support of the local community, they established a foundation dedicated to the preservation and exploration of paranormal phenomena. They opened the mansion's doors to researchers, historians, and curious visitors alike, offering guided tours and educational programs that shed light on its storied past. Through their efforts, the mansion became a beacon of reconciliation, a place where the lines between the living and the dead blurred, where the echoes of the past could be heard but no longer feared. It became a sanctuary for those seeking answers to life's mysteries and a testament to the enduring power of forgiveness and redemption. Years passed, and Tom, Sarah, and Alex grew old together, their lives intertwined with the mansion's history in ways they could never have imagined. They shared laughter and tears, celebrated triumphs and weathered hardships, knowing that their journey had brought them full circle to a place of acceptance and peace. And as they stood together one last time beneath the ancient trees that had witnessed their trials and triumphs, they felt a sense of fulfillment, a knowing that their legacy would endure, carried forward by those who dared to tread where shadows dwelled and emerged stronger on the other side. For in the heart of that old mansion, amidst its crumbling walls and whispered secrets, they had found not just darkness but also light, a beacon of hope in a world where the past and present intertwined in ways that defied explanation. And so, their story became a legend whispered among those who visited the mansion, a tale of courage, friendship, and the enduring quest for understanding in the face of the unknown. As time passed, the mansion became a focal point not only for researchers and historians, but also for those curious souls drawn to its eerie allure. Visitors came from far and wide, eager to explore the mansion's labyrinthine corridors and perhaps catch a glimpse of the paranormal phenomena that had once plagued its halls. Tom, Sarah, and Alex dedicated themselves wholeheartedly to the foundation they had established. They worked tirelessly to uncover more of the mansion's secrets, collaborating with experts in various disciplines to analyze the artifacts and documents they had unearthed. Together, they hosted seminars and conferences, inviting scholars and enthusiasts to share their knowledge and theories about the mansion's haunted history. They curated exhibitions that showcased the mansion's artifacts, weaving together the threads of its past to create a narrative that captivated and chilled those who dared to delve into its mysteries. Over the years, the foundation grew in influence and reputation, becoming a respected institution in the field of paranormal research. They received grants and donations from supporters who believed in their mission, to shed light on the shadows of the past and to honor the spirits that still wandered the mansion's halls. But amidst the academic pursuits and public intrigue, Tom, Sarah, and Alex never lost sight of the personal journey that had brought them together. They continued to find solace in their friendship, leaning on each other during moments of doubt and reflection. One winter evening, as snowflakes gently fell outside the mansion's weathered windows, they gathered in the library, a room once filled with the whispers of forbidden knowledge and now a sanctuary of camaraderie and shared purpose. "We've come a long way," Tom remarked, his voice tinged with nostalgia as he glanced around at the shelves lined with ancient tomes and faded manuscripts. Sarah nodded thoughtfully. "Who would have thought that our curiosity would lead us here, to unraveling the mysteries of this place and finding meaning in our own lives?" Alex, usually reserved, smiled faintly. "It's been a journey filled with challenges and revelations. I'm grateful to have shared it with both of you." Their conversation drifted to memories of their youth, of the innocence they had lost in the shadows of the mansion, and the resilience they had discovered in its wake. They spoke of the spirits they had encountered, some restless, some resigned, but all seeking a semblance of peace in the afterlife. As they